smaller. So, in a little while, I will explain you what is GreenPea talking about Italy. Everybody knows Italy format, I think. There's someone from Sarna that maybe?
No, they visited.
Perfect, okay. So, Italy is a very simple idea. It's all about what we put in our body. Simple. The analysis right now, after 20 years, because in 20 years, we started from the first idea, and we are 15 years in the business. It's very simple. Italy as a country has the biggest biodiversity in the world. We would love to celebrate this treasure, our oil, in Italy as a country and in the world. And there was never other chain of distribution that bring this treasure, this oil, the Italian food and beverage products abroad, all over the world. If you think also right now, 15 years after the Italy project, there are no one chain of distribution. There are several restaurants chain, but that can count 10 to 15 Italian restaurants all over the world. Then the third goal was to bring high quality food to the largest public as possible. So, as I can say, to democratize the food, the high quality food. Normally, only the food is, only the rich people can afford high quality 15 years ago. Our goal was to let's know that high quality is affordable. Because talking about wine, you can talk about Barolo 1961 millésime starting from 900 euro to 2000 euro. But in Italy, we offer wine from the barrel starting from 2 euro per liter, organic from our cellar, till the Barolo that I mentioned. Talking about bread. So, first goal was to celebrate the Italian biodiversity, go abroad in the world, and a selection of food that we call, not we, but thanks to our philosopher, the pioneer, Carlo Petrini. Everybody knows Carlo Petrini? There's someone that do not know. Carlo Petrini will be remembered as one of the geniuses of the last century. He's the founder of slow food movement, and the topic book is Good, Fair and Clean Products. So this is the analysis of Italy. We started with Italy. You can go to the other if it doesn't work.
We can do it, but we need to stop a second because we need to clear that.
Need the mic? No problem. And do you hear me? Also without? Okay. And I remember 2010. We were in New York where we opened the first Italy abroad in US, and it was a mess. It was the first Italy, 7,000 square meter in Broadway, 23rd and Broadway, Union Square. With our partner Bastiani, and we worked 2 months, 24 hours inside the store, and then we realized it was a success. So first day off, we were with my father in the Village district. You know West Village. It's a district where you do not find the normal fashion chain or well famous all over the world, but little concept store. I remember my father stopped in front of the window. We are not fashion addicted, you can see right now with GreenPea learning. And he stopped and said, go down, look at that. There was a shirt, and beside a sign, we love the communication, we love the sign. It's not mine, I hope. was a sign with, instead of a photo, a picture of a beautiful girl or beautiful man, a model, was a picture of a sheep. And 2010. And then a deep description of all the details of growing up, the sheep, color, and so on. It was done. It's exactly what we are doing, talking about pasta di Gragnano pasta, in our Italy stores. And so I remember my father take the phone and call our partner right now, Roberto Recchia, who is a big friend, also one of the most important fashion entrepreneur in Turin. And said, okay, we have an idea. The first name of GreenPea was EOT, Italy of Things. The Italy of Things. So the same philosophy of Italy, but put in what we put on our body, outside our body. And they say, okay, Italy of Things. I would love to have a fantastic bit 2010, fully sustainable, where we can have a deep offer of fashion and furniture, design, clothes, all made in Italy and sustainable. Talking about fashion, do exist right now a range of offer of green fashion or green clothes? And they say, no. So, they call, no, I will say, right now in 2010, there are, but they are not affordable. Talking about Brunello Cucinelli, only high level. So, 10 years to operation to create a supply chain with our partners to find more than 150 partners that believe in sustainability as a path and produce for us or for their market what we call green products. Always when I say green products is only to understand what we are talking about. But we truly believe in sustainability as a path to do, as a journey to do with our partner. We do not believe in green and sustainable products. So I will say worse. Sustainable products do not exist. A green products do not exist. Do not exist in nature. Once you create a product, it's no more sustainable because you use some energy, then you have to bring logistics. So talking about green products is always to measure the impact. So it's all about figures and numbers. I don't know, I can continue 1 hour and a half. So, leading actor, no way. C'è anche una musichetta che rende sempre più.
Immaginiamo una nuova città che dialoghi con la natura, fatta di elementi naturali e di elementi rispettosi della natura. Il tema non è la stessa cosa.
GreenPea diventa culturalmente il primo green retail del pianeta perché
Manifesto vivente di quelli che sono i principi filosofici del green retail.
Così come i materiali che sono stati scelti sono dei materiali che sono compatibili o riciclati o naturali o da fonte rinnovabile.
E quindi tutto il legno è stato recuperato.
Abbiamo recuperato legno caduto nei fiumi, legno dismesso. Per pensare quale grande meccano è questo GreenPea, per il suo assemblaggio sono stati utilizzati ben 54.000 bulloni, 34.000 chiodi.
Si può smontare con un cacciavite o una chiave inglese da 24.
Inoltre è un edificio in Z, cioè un edificio di energia quasi zero ed è in classe A3.
Il vento attraverso una grande pala eolica.
I pannelli fotovoltaici.
Il geotermico per poterci scaldare e raffrescare.
il pavimento piezoelettrico, quindi ogni passo produce energia.
Completamente verniciato all'interno con la vernice di Airlight.
Sostenibilità che non può essere più declinata come greenwashing, che tu basta dire la mia bottiglia è verde, il mio bicchiere è verde, non funziona così.
Dobbiamo comprare oggetti che ci durino una vita.
Che con gli scarti prodotti dalla GreenPea producono altre cose, proprio in quest'ottica di economia circolare.
un grande impegno.
Please come to GreenPea. It will be possible to change the world, but for to change the world is necessary that you change your life, that you change the things that you buy. Please, from now, before to buy something, you ask with what was built this thing. And please, you buy only things building in the respect of the earth, of the air, and of the water.
Okay, so thanks to this video, you have understood who I owe my hair and my English. This is my father Oscar, the founder of GreenPea Slow Food. Slow Food, no, and Italy. I will go to the next slide. Better? Okay, so as I say, Italy, good, clean and fair, what we put in our body, food and beverage. Very easy. Clean, fine and durable. What we use outside and our focus, services and goods, but with the fashion and furniture, the design as a pillar. And made in Italy and what we call retailtainment. Do you know the meaning of retailtainment? Do you? It's a infotainment in retail. So it's the biggest challenge for an entrepreneur like me that decided to open retailer spaces. Why someone had to decide to standing from his sofa, wash maybe, take the car or the metro and go to a retail space to buy something, then bring back to home when he can, without doing all these stuff in his sofa with internet online, buy the same thing and maybe cheaper, because right now the online market to us, to the public, is cheaper, has to be cheaper. And so what is the answer? Is to build a retail space that has to be wow effect, entertainment, edutainment, the teaching to us is very important. So this is the idea beside Italy, we did, this is the idea beside GreenPea, we will see. So this was the analysis, as I said before, and this is, I don't know if everybody can see, I put always two labels. The labels of food, 2007, 15 years ago, you were very young, but everybody normally to the course went to the supermarket, classical supermarket, grocery store, to take, I don't know, a nut cream, that nobody, but I say 99%, nobody read the ingredients on the label. Wrote very little. Nobody knows about palm oil. 15 years after, everything, the scenario completely changed. We are talking every day about organic, what we talk about wine. It's not only red sparkling or white wine, but we are going deeply into this is a Nebbiolo from a particular cellar and so on. Right now, it's everything is different, but when we started in 2007, it was like this. This is Italy, as I said, all over the world. 6 stores opened during the pandemic period. The first in Dallas, the 9th of December, the same day that we opened the first GreenPea, then 4 in Tokyo, the big one in London, Bishopgate in April. We celebrate our first year, and in Seoul. This is GreenPea. When you have a new project, always you have to do the most important part of your business. It's the analysis. So looking to the scenario about figures, about economics, and then in your market, try to find a bridge to build your project. This is the scenario about sustainability. I think everybody knows many of the figures. I will only put some attention on this. How we say? We are stiamo uscendo un po' come diciamo. We are in the pandemic period. You know how many deaths due to pandemic. Official figure is 6 million. The last report was Burioni said to us 16 million. Only due to pollution, each year, every year, 9 million. So we are 80 million in the 2 years of pandemic. We know very well this figure, 1.2 degrees of increasing the global average of temperature due to our production and consumption. We started this analysis, I say, in 2010, the project 5 years of operation. So when we started to build GreenPea, it was not like now, where the global warming is no more a debate, but it's an emergency, and 90% of scientists agree. I remember that till 3 years ago, we had president of one of the most important cities in the world that said global warming, it's a fake, no? Donald, do we remember, no? And so, this is the fact. These are the facts. Then, the economic scenario. So, green is also because, okay, we are, as a family, as our investor, we are entrepreneur, businessman. So, we want to build project that make money to invest in new project. Green is also a business opportunity. There are many figures. I will not two to remember. One is the BlackRock. Do you know BlackRock fund is the most important. In 2019, Larry French, in December each year, he has his letter to investor. And he said, in the next, before pandemic, $1 trillion in sustainable investment in 10 years, and only in company with at least one woman in the board. So this is very important. The second is after pandemic, next generation EU funds, the 20%, 374 billion euro to environment. And then the customer was very important to us. 65%, this is the last word because after pandemic, we need the next will exit in September. 65% of world consumers say they want to buy sustainable. So I want to, but versus only 26%. So this is a bridge. We have a problem, the global warming. We have some figures about economy that are going to invest in green as a business opportunity. Then we need also heroes to change the trend. So we started 2007, I started when I talk about green with Al Gore, that someone remembered was the vice president, that was the Nobel, it was Academy winner award, it was the first talking about sustainability to a large public. Then the actual Pope with the encyclica Laudato Si in 2015, and then the Greta effect. It's when I talk about Greta, I always stop to figure out that Greta started the first strike only 3 years ago. Right now will be the 4th year, but it's an era. There's a before and after Greta, and then as I say, Larry French. So start GreenPea project in our mind. The analysis, as I say, Greta effect. The made in Italy. We are businessmen, Italian businessmen, they want to celebrate the Italian treasure, not only in Italy, we have to start in Italy to be truly, and then go abroad, because all the world, it depends too, but for the autumn, there are 129 countries that want made in Italy. There's research made in Italy. Made in Italy is very well known all over the world for the 3 F's. The F of food, we have the Italy project, so the F of fashion, where we are considered first in male and second in female on our cousin, the French Vitaz, and third about furniture, design, no competitors. 80% of the worldwide design is Italian. So, start the project. A new experiential format, the first green retail park. And right now, you see, this is 2020 when we open. This is a classical label of a clothes. And this is the goal, our label. Normally when I have a chat like this, a talk, I ask, who remember what hit yesterday for dinner? And normally everybody answers, yes, I eat, but not I eat some pasta and some meat. I eat some pasta from Gragnano, I eat pasta with ragu, many description. We know very well what we put in our body. Then I ask, who of you knows the ingredients of what you are wearing? And normally up to 5 up to 10% knows something. Because normally when we buy something, we do not read the label. With very, very little as the cacao nut cream that I mentioned before. But this is the paradigm changing point. Because you know the fashion industry is the second industry for pollution. 10% of the CO2 due to fashion industry, 20% of the waste of water in the world. So we have to change this paradigm, and we try. We try to be different entrepreneur, disruptive. We would like to be described. We are also described as, but it's better than someone tells to you. And when we start a project, we always draw a pitch. It's strange. This is the pitch of the pitch. Always. I suggest you to try to use in your next business model. Why a pitch? Because try to figure out to be in Italy, in the vegetable fruit area, and to choose a pitch. I would love to eat the pitch tonight. Okay, how do you choose the pitch? First, the quality and the price point. Okay, the red, the yellow, whatever. But you choose the pitch from the peel. But do you eat the peel? Normally nobody eats the peel. 90% don't eat the peel instead of the peel. Do you eat?
Yes, I love it.
Yeah?
Yes.
How many live in the peel? Okay, minority but increasing. But normally you don't eat the peel. But which is the, I will say, the organ of the peach, not the peel. It's the pulp. But the pulp you can see. So the peel to us is the store and the marketing sector. So there are someone that want the peel, the touch, soft, hard, smell. So, but then you eat the pulp, and the pulp are the experiences. So when you have a project, you want that the stakeholder, the stakeholder, the client, the supplier, the visitor will live. And then there's the most important, the stone. Because the peach grow up thanks to the stone. And thanks to the stone, other peach tree and other peach fruit will. So in the stone we put the values, our values, that in our theory, in our model, has to be poetic values. Not put, please, if you like our theory, I want to make money. In my business, I want to be the richest man. Okay, this is how to can work on the cross. So, in the stone, we put save planet through respect, through work, creating new jobs. We opened 9th of December. Here we created 212 new green jobs in full of blending. Save the planet created a community. This is very, very important. New jobs, respect, community. Then you see you see nothing, okay, I will see something. The part, the experiences. So, the experience, when you bite the peach, when you enter to GreenPea, the store, and the communication. And so our experience is, it's a wonderful place. When I say this, you have to figure out if GreenPea, and also I say to my director of operation, Raffaele Fratto, who is the one who is managing also your week, if we are complaining or not with our. So I'm in a beautiful place. Buying green products, I'm doing my part. Green products are not that expensive as I believed before, so to be affordable to everybody. Talking about supply, I would love to have my products here. And so, many experience about customer and the supply. And then the marketing and the store. So, it's a building that is also a manifesto of what they want to promote. Bright sky, very light. I'm full of wood, recycled wood. So our pitch is also our check if starting from this and our manifesto, we are going in the right way. So GreenPea born to answer to this question. Should we stop consuming? Because the scientists, and we saw before with the issue, say no more consumption, no more production, no more consumption. And there are many philosophers, economists that say, please stop. Or should we begin to consume a new way, a new paradigm, what we call with respect. And so GreenPea. As I said, the first GreenPea building dedicated to respect, our vision. Have respect, save the planet. Save the planet is a summary. You know, it's a synthesis because it's not about to save the planet. Do we agree? The planet Earth is 5 billion years old. We as a human race, we are 300,000 years on this Earth, planet Earth, and normally a race, a species, lasts 5 millions of years. We, in only 300,000 of years, do that math that we saw with the figures. So, the truth is, have respect and save human race on this planet. This is the true goal. And our mission, change consumer attitude from duty to beauty. It's very important to us this payoff because it's our mission. It's also our vision to change the paradigm about sustainability and environment. What does it mean? It means that our goal is to transfer the value of respect from a meaning of duty. The duty is also the value of the last century. Duty. You have to, you have not to, does and does. But to a new meaning of beauty. Beauty that means also coolness. So, we saw some issues. We know we are living the changing of the nature and the catastrophic storms that we live. There are today 123 days with no rain in Italy. It's a mess, something never seen. February as a month was the warmest February in the last 52 years when we start to measure the temperature. So we have no time. We have no time. What we can do, we can change our way to consume and produce. But we have, in our vision as GreenPea, we have two options. The one is stop. The other is, what if everybody start to say that green it's not only a duty I have to, because if not me, not you, because the next 70, 8 years, but next generation will have big problems. So our way is to, this is very important, from duty to beauty, make good behavior cool. This is the most important wave, because you are all engineers, or not? Almost engineers.
Almost.
Almost all, okay. You studied, you know, but if everybody of you are engineers or the PhD in the world started changing their consumption, will not change. We will not change. We have to focus on the mass, on the largest public. And so the largest public, for example, we have in the third floor a big library, a bookstore, and we say a very strong phrase to our public, very strong sign. You have to read. Nobody reads in Italy. You know, we always look, when you see the statistics in economics, to GDP, PIL. We are very proud of the Italian PIL. But you know, there are other statistics that say to you, to us, that in the next decades we will not have this PIL, this GDP. You know why? Talking about reading, Italy as a country, we are the 23rd in 27 states of EU. This is a big problem. So we can change saying and trying to make good behavior cool. So this is why we choose this name, YP, because talking about fashion and furniture, we need a logo. Italy do not have a logo. We need a logo. And so we choose a P that you find in all our clothes. It has to become the symbol, the hallmark of respect. So each product has a little P. Why a P? Because it's a living product, it's rounded like the earth, it's green like earth should be. You know, I have 2 children, my kids, all the kids, when you have to draw the earth, the green, the sea, azure blue, and it's my generation, your generation, that began to put some gray, some black, and so kids, to us, it's very important. And this is our green offer, as I said, 2 focus, one on fashion, one on furniture, then to move with the first car dealer in the history of FCA, the largest in the history of the big company or car producer, 100% thinking about green philosophy, starting with full electric, BHV, and so on. Then connecting electronic devices with the first store of regenerated devices with the team in Italy. And then the most important stuff that we have, we sell time. We sell time with a third floor dedicated to food and beverage experience, and most of all with the last floor, the rooftop dedicated to the Ozio P Club. After 4 floors of business, in Italian is negozio, it's from Latin. The last floor is dedicated to ozium, creative idleness. And when you go to the rooftop, welcome you Plato, Pericle, Socrates, and Aristotle. Why? Because 2,500 years ago, there was a generation that understood better than us the ozium, the idleness, has to be creative. In many languages, also in Italian, the ancient Greek, the word of creative idleness, otium, is skole. So the school, scuola, was the creative idleness. And I will give you the recipe of the Italian philosopher De Masi, who's the one that was transferred this idea of creative idleness to be like a Greek philosopher. You know, we have 3 times of our life. When we are kids, we play. When we are student, we study, and then we work. 3 different, very different. When you're a kid, you have only to play. When you're a student, you have to study. When you work, you have to work. To be a philosopher, a 100% person dedicated to creative idleness, not only idleness, but creative idleness, also meaning you have to do these 3 things every day in your day, every day in your week, every day. Normally, when you have to play, you play, then you study, then you work. So this is very important. Also because laughing, joking, and play is a fully part to be a human being. So this is very important. And this is a format in a format. So our goal, this is our manifesto, that we sign the contract with all our partners, more than 150 partners. The first attachment was the manifesto. It was very funny when we went to sign with a big company to put the manifesto as a first attachment and not the area where. And we built a manifesto with each partner together. And then this is the video. You saw the video that explains very well that was the truly manifesto of our project. And we are very proud to, the award. We have many awards, but this is very important because this is the first Italian project that has won this very, very important. Says the name is Azure magazine. It's the most important magazine in architecture, Canadian one, and 1,200 projects from 54 countries. First time that was an Italian project was shortlisted, and we won People Choice. So, but also the winner, the most important. Then wine touring, because as I said, the first in Italy to go abroad. But wine touring, because we are Piemontes, we opened the first Italy in this area, and the target is everyone, but we have a selected target. And the target of Italy, in our idea, is very close to the GreenPea target. If I started to ask me what I put in my body, okay, maybe I will ask also what I put outside my body. But why in Turin? Because you live this experience in Turin. Turin is the most creative town in Italy. A lot of inventions were born in Turin, and many inventions were built first time in Turin. Why? It's very easy, because we had the king, and so it was very important. But there's one invention that to me is also the symbol of the last 5 years, talking about green issue, green thing, which is the symbol of sustainability. I think is the water bottle. Imagine 5 years ago, how many of you has a water bottle? Maybe everybody 100% like the peach, but normally nobody. Right now we have too many, maybe peach. And you know that water bottle was invented in Turin. The first patented water bottle by Pietro Guglielminetti in 1851 for the Savoy army. He and his son. The other, talking about fashion, the first fashion parade, the first fashion show was made in Turin by a French stylist, Paul Poiret, in 1911. There are many inventions. What I love is nitroglycerina. Did you know that nitroglycerin, everybody think about Nobel, was invented by an engineer, Ascano Sobrero, in 1847. Then Nobel paid an amount that in that period I believe was incredible, but then, you know, also MP3 was invented in Turin. So this is the idea also, a little proud about Turin. Then I say I explain everything and go over with our project of development. Starting from Turin, we are working to open the first in Dubai and then to go abroad, like Italy, who is the most important stage right now, talking about to celebrate Italian food and beverage. Our goal is to be the most important stage to celebrate fashion and design in and made in Italy. Thanks a lot. This is not an award, but because we do not win, but it's very proud because a project, Italian project from Turin, first year. This is the Oscar, the World Retail Awards each year in London, every year in London. And we were shortlisted for Best Innovation Retail, with some group, a very important company, Alibaba, the Lego Company, ID, Zalando, and then building a sustainable world with brands like IKEA, Carrefour, the only Italian. So we do not win, but
So, time for questions. They need a stove.
First of all, thank you a lot for the presentation. It was also really interesting to see how GreenPea developed, what the deeper concept behind it was. It's very clear that it's about sustainability. You can see that in everything. But speaking of sustainability, I feel like in this building you can see it really in every aspect. But then today I was a bit, I don't know, I asked how it comes that everything, even from the packaging for the food that we got in our lunch break, was sustainable because it was biodegradable. But then there were no bins to put, no, to differentiate in the way that we have organic waste. Yeah. So I'm asking myself, why?
Good question. You know, the first answer is joking. Answer the second would be there are many towns, municipality that say, how can we face the problem of garbage in town? So no bin. So this is the first. So you can take anyway. No, but the second, I think, Raffaele is over there. On the floors we have the garbages divided in organic. You were on the third floor. On the third floor. Okay, thanks. It's a point. Also because you have to go. Okay. Okay. Normally we do not have to go. It was for you customized, no? Isn't it? Tailor-made. Good point. Thanks.
Hi. Can you hear me? Yeah. Thank you for the presentation. It was very interesting, particularly the development of the concept. I was also a bit curious because I'm not familiar with the history of shopping malls in the world, but I guess they originated, in the beginning of the 20th century, so in France, Lafayette, in Italy, Rinascente. And the business model is based on the fact that the product is no longer in a shelf or in a particular shop, but you go into a place where you can buy everything you want, and the product is displayed in order to attract the consumer to consume the product. So the shopping mall, the business model is designed to showcase products and to invite people to buy more. So my first question regards that. So if you are building a sustainable shopping mall, the shopping mall is not sustainable because it's not consuming better, it's consuming more. So my first question, did you consider that? My second question regards your clients. So you mentioned that So the idea is to have products that are lasting longer. So I guess that if you keep the same showcasing business model, your customer not recurring customer, or at least not maybe somebody comes already to buy food or to buy cosmetics, but not like in dell'innovazione, I would say. And the last one concerns the fashion industry. So when the people that you engaged in the thing, are they? So the first one is the shopping mall. Second one is about the customer. So is the same or is that correct? The third one is the fashion industry. So are those products just done with a recyclable material? Because most of the time it's not recyclable. Like for example, wood, you don't really recycle that. And do they have the same concept? So for example, also saying about the strong issue behind the fashion industry is that there is a new collection every year, and so the user is induced to buy more and more products. So do they produce just one line for a couple of years, or is it the same business model as well?
Okay, first shopping mall. Thanks. Shopping mall. The most successful shopping mall in Europe is Canevet, Magazine del West, dell'Ovest, in Berlin. And the first in history is Japan. May I say the first in the history of no shopping mall is the Bazaar of Istanbul. Then talking about shopping mall, our model is like in Italy. You see, okay. We want to change the offer. Talking about in Italy high quality food and virtuous producer, and in GreenPea. Taking control, checking the supply chain and the products to have the, as I said, the greenest products possible, but measuring the impact according to that 100% green products do not exist. I think that we are in Italy and in GreenPea the only retail where you can find signs shop less, shop better. But starting from the point that we are merchant, so we want to sell. The point of view is changed that we do not want to sell to the same public. Right now, the piece of the cake is very little. So our goal is spread out the philosophy to have the same, I hope, slice of a big cake. Second, talking about clients recurring, as I said, our goal is to put out a new philosophy. Then I'm a merchant, I have my P&L, and my P&L say that right now our goal is not to be in the GreenPea in Italy, this one in Turin, the one where I sell. It's our flagship. My goal is then in Dubai, then in New York, then in London, where we have a competitive advantage if we open the next year to be the first to have a range of offer like we have built in the last 10 years. And yes, of course, we 100% green product do not exist. Always a compromise. The human being is not perfect. We started with I would not say first step, but some steps. Talking about vintage, for example, we have vintage, but we have also Zegna. And Zegna is classical offer and palinsesto, commercial palinsesto, and so two fashion per year, two collection per year, and will last like this. Will be the same. In GreenPea, because so I will answer maybe to other questions, there are partners, there are not 100% because we all agreed do not exist, but are very close to 100%. And normally right now there are little companies, but little companies also has a problem right now, because little companies not so many employees, so they cannot have the benefit of a community. So we have to work with little companies, but also big companies. And the big companies, our goal is to sell excellencies that will continue till to install Europe, say 2030, to do the normal engines. But this is the first step of this big company, thanks to GreenPea, to make a selection. Not all our products are recyclable. Recyclable, sorry, I missed a word. No, we have many products that are recyclable, and we write with our sign, you can read. For example, talking about seats in the first floor in our offer, the home sector, we started with Scab, who is a 100% Italian, made in Italy producer. And the first range is a seat starting from 40 euro, and we wrote 60% is recyclable, 100% is fully recyclable after. Recycled and recyclable. Starting from 40 euro till turn on wood 400 euro. This is how we build our range. It's okay? Thank you. Didn't even know I do presentato.
Okay, so nice to meet you. I'm Federico. My question is towards more sustainability, environment, and the approach GreenPea has towards it. Because actually, nowadays sustainability and environment is all around us. But how did it take us to move from, hey, we want to be sustainable, to, hey, actually energy is costing too much, let's switch on all the coal factories. So what actually I want to ask to you, and then of course to GreenPea, is which is the boundary between I want to be sustainable and I don't want to radically change my lifestyle to be sustainable? Because of course you have early adopters which are keen on doing, okay, I revolutionize my way of living, but there are a lot of people which don't agree with that.
Thanks, Federico. This is the question. If we do not change our way of living, we will change our way of living as human race on this planet. Or we saw the increase of the sea, and we are wondering when in Indonesia, when in California, when in Japan, when in the south of France, when in Venice, when in Genoa. But if we do not want to change our way of life, it will be soon. With an option, there are some scientists that say that our new technologies, we can solve some part of the problem, but will be only for the rich people in the richest area of the people. So, sorry to mention to you, but as Papa Francesco said, the climate change is also a social problem. So, the diversity between the richest and the poor area in the world will be more and more, I can say, different. What we can do as a little player in that world, we can try to figure out a new paradigm. A new paradigm, and our goal is to the largest public as possible, will be not to everybody, not right now, not to everybody. We are the shoes, the most economic shoes, cheapest shoes that we sell, it's 45 euro. There are shoes that cost nothing. As you said before, fast fashion, no? But first you have to change the mentality. But the other point that you touched is very important to, not to us as a GreenPea, but to Italy as a country, to all the countries that are very, that do not produce energy and green energy, is the choice. Now we are in a turning point because of the war, because the war put the light of a big, all the problem to us as a country to not decide our energy politically. And right now we have two, because they touch our wallet as entrepreneur, as consumer. And the easy answer is I want to have the same quality of life, way of life, and to spend the same as I did before, and so we are going 30 years ago. So we go to gas, we are talking about to produce gas. There are other ways, and for example, one of our scientists, the dean of our board of inspirational board, Silvio Greco, is working. For example, he said, sorry, Italy as a country is a little peninsula in the middle of Mediterranean Sea. Wind turbines will be our future. Look at Portugal, what he did. Okay, we are the land of Michelangelo, Raffaello, so we do not like to have in the east. Okay, but we have the sea. And so he's projecting a plant on the sea of wind turbines that will produce in the next 2 years, not 5 to 10 years, like 5 French nuclear plants. So that's another opportunity. But answering to your first question, we have no option. We have to change. If not, we will be no more like this. And this is the first part of your duty, so the punch in your stomach. But this is the truth. Nobody can say different. Well, there are someone, entrepreneur, the most of them made money with the new market. They are saying, doesn't matter. We are going to the moon, we are going to the Mars, and only the richest people can have the same way of life over there.
Hello, my name is Marco, and I want to know what was the role of Enelix in this project, and if you have any plan in the future with them.
Okay, Enelix was a biggest partner to us, talking about green energy, to produce green energy, photovoltaic, all our parking, then and all our building, then the e-columns for electric energy. We are the biggest private parking in the northeast and northwest of Italy with 22 e-columns, and then they believe in this fullness to install the first energy platform. The one when you enter, the piezoelectric platform is the energy platform, is the first installation in a department store all over the world. The first installation was in a museum, actually, also because of the cost. It's 9,000 euro per square meter. It's like an apartment in Brera or in New York, like this. But we want that also to show that new technologies will help us to find this harmony, this balance that we lost with nature. Okay, right now it's too expensive. but it's like the first photovoltaic technologies 30 years ago. Very, very expensive and no efficiency. But this is the future. The future is to produce our energy. So, Enelix is our partner talking about e-mobility energy. Energy mobility.
Are they coming with you in Dubai and around the world, or are you selecting local partners?
No, it depends first because if they are in the market and Enelix is not in those markets, for example, they are fully local in Brazil, they are, and we're talking about other locations. No, our goal is abroad. Maybe will be something very, very understandable. It's a store about fashion, Italian green fashion design. Then cars with Stellantis, it's all over the world. Talking about our selection of producer about fashion and design, we will bring, I would say, 100%, 90% of the selection that we have here. Then we will select local producers that are compliant to our philosophy, our manifesto. Talking about energy, we have to find the local partner because there are no companies all over the world. The one we choose here.
More questions?
Thank you for your presentation.
Ciao Beatrice.
During your presentation, you talked a lot about philosophy behind the concept, the idea, the experience that you want to give to your clients and customers, and the fact that you want to teach the customers something new. But you told us a lot of story of success, like GreenPea. What do you think that you have learned about the flop of
About the?
The flop of Pico, Italy.
Wow.
World.
To me, it's not a flop. It's not a flop because when you build the project, you have to always see the scenario and to have a view not only in the first years but in the future. I will explain this because if you see the P&L of Fico, it's a flop, okay? But we opened in 2018, 19 second year, 20 pandemic. What is Fico? Fico is a thematic park about food in Italy. The first thematic park all over the world, of course in Italy, because Italy is a country with biodiversity, 100,000 square meter, huge, and the pandemic, you know, no visitors, no. Our analysis was, in Italy we have each year, in Italy as a country, we have each year 50 million of visitors. 50 million of visitors. You know that Manhattan each year has 65 million of visitors. So Manhattan abroad. So Manhattan more visitors abroad than Italy as a country. All the Spain is 75 million of visitors. I love Spain, but first Italy, then Spain. Greece was 35, very little, to 42 with the islands. So our analysis was 50 million, we can reach 100 million. Sicily is 8 million, all the Sicily. Canarias 22 million. These are the, so all will come in Italy and will be our treasure, really treasures. The ones, fashion, furniture that we can produce, we can afford to produce also because of the price, because we are in the medium level luxury sector. Then of course food, then incoming. So everybody will come in Italy. Bologna, la grassa, la dotta, we need a thematic park. So I think that Fico in the future will be a big asset then the problem is not the analysis. If the analysis is not wrong, I think today, I still think that the analysis is not wrong, it's the project. So the project, you can do the mistakes, and we did many in FICO, many. First, too big. Why? Because Saturday and Sunday fully experiences with 30,000 visitors. Wow, effect. From Monday to Thursday with 10,000 visitors. Big number. My director of operation of GreenPea was the director of the Italy corner of FICO, so he knows very well. And then our format was not so understandable to Italians because okay, some restaurants, some market, then the giostre, the how do you say in English, the attraction, you say? Amusement parks, ma proprio le attraction, no? The one. So we changed it. So it's a mistake. We changed the management. Right now we have someone that is used to run and manage attraction park. He was the one that take the Cinecittà world from not a very good P&L and number of visitors to right now, before pandemic, because the pandemic was a mess for everyone. Disney closed several parks, and so we have changed. So to answer to your question, we made mistakes, but I think the format of FICO is a very good format, and for the Italy as a country and Bologna, to students and to abroad visitors will be successful. A little smaller as we did in the future. And the format is very, we have many requests abroad. In China, for example, in Japan, like Italy, but to do something about food attraction park. Grazie.
I think if you have more question, one or two, and then no.
I'm happy.
I don't think it's
Up to you.
Hello, Marco speaking. Thank you for your presentation. I found it very inspiring. So, a couple of days ago in our team, we had to ask ourselves what is the vision for the next future, for future generation, us in general. And I was wondering, I mean, my opinion is that I'm a little bit skeptical, not to say pessimistic, about our future. In particular because I feel that we are not doing enough until when the current economics it's all about profit, and sustainability is not part of the equation, but a big part, just not a side of that. And my question for you is, who do you think from where do you think the shift of mentality should come from? Is it from the consumer or the enterprises like you, or something at government level? Thank you.
Thanks. Normally government try to, but nobody believes. I can say our president of EU 1 year, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, say 2030 only no oil and gin. It's something, it's a shift, no? But nobody believes. So it was a statement, but nobody believed that in 8 years, all the Europe, no more oil engine. Do you believe? Someone that believe it will be like this of you? In 8 years, no more oil.
Then we're talking about producing.
No more new. No more
New. Yeah.
New.
But yeah. You know how many jobs, in 8 years, because in 2030, this is the problem. So a government can take the direction, no? The direction. But I think that more than politicians, they are what I call the green heroes. So I think Greta, you can believe in conspiracy, you can believe in whatever, but was the first that has reached the goal to talk to everybody. And most important thing that I started as a marketing manager. To me, Greta is my idol because I started with the new generation that as a marketing manager I would love, no, to speak directly to the new generation. So the green heroes will be. Then there's our role, the merchant, because the green heroes inspire the consumer, and then you need the merchant. And the merchant normally begins before the producer. Consumer, merchant, producer. Okay.
Yeah. That's it. Okay.
My name is Sana. Thank you so much for your presentation. And I wanted to ask you, so I believe that as long as sustainable products are actually more expensive than other options, there will be no real change from the consumer part. Do you think that there will ever the possibility that there will actually be more convenient? And what will it take?
Okay, thanks. I do not agree to your first part of the question because it depends on what we communicate to consumer, customer, and we try with Italy to say, okay, quality food cannot cost like junk food, but everybody of you is eat too much. We need to eat less but better. So if you are going to see your wallet at the last of the year, if you eat half what you're used to eat and you spend 50% more, you are eating better and you are greater. Exaggerate, okay. But this is the goal. In his question was also the same point. You know, right now in fashion, it's starting from 20% plus, not I say junk fashion, the only one fast fashion, but fast fashion, junk fashion. I say a normal product, no? A normal good. It's 20% more. But if that product, that clothes, shirt will last more, and we change our mentality to shop less but shop better, this is the answer to me. There are other sectors, as the home department, where we are at the same price. Why? Because it depends on the supply chain. The home sector, the design sector is full Italian. It's in Italy, and so all the ingredients that we use are really time to market, 0 kilometers. So you can choose. It's not 20% more. We have kitchen starting from 3,000 euro. It's the same price of a normal classical kitchen. Then we have the design till 100,000.
Is it going to be the last one, two, and maybe a
Last two, so I saw another hand.
louder?
Thank you. It's going to be a very short question, but I know that they raise the price of cigarettes because they want people to buy more cigarettes than what it's like they need, I would say. But so you're saying the same thing for healthy food. So my question is, why should the fast food cost more than healthy food? Otherwise, it's right when you say that I can reduce the amount of food that I buy, but it will take more time for me to buy healthy food because it costs more.
So sorry if I say something like this, but maybe I do not understood. I'm not saying that junk food will cost more than healthy food.
No, but it should. I mean, if
It's about taxes. I love this. I love this. Okay, but it's, we talk in Italy, French did, California government did, Italian government talks about, I think, 2 years about to put taxes on sugar in beverages and so on. So.
Yeah, but what if you just reduce the price of healthy food instead of raising the price of junk food?
Yes, but it's only about government. You can do only with taxes program, because the supply chain, the filiera of healthy food will be always more expensive than junk food.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, but why the government is not doing that? Because it's keep saying, yeah, we should eat less junk food and more healthy food, but to an average family, it's gonna cost a lot to buy healthy food. The same goes for other things. So.
It's a good question. I have my answer. We do not have, unfortunately, and this is a fact in the last 24 days, we do not have a European government. We do not have. They take a decision, fully decision. It's each country made his decision, and in Italy we have a fully continuous propaganda. So it's not a problem of future, it's a problem of how many percentage of vote I will have today, and not even in the election. So this is a problem of future. Then big company, it also means many jobs, so it's also a problem economic, and to me, you can do with taxes, but the first, our model is offer and demand. So if we work on the consumer, imagine that tomorrow everybody say, I do not want to drink a beverage with sugar added. Coca-Cola are not stupid. Tomorrow we'll start with only, how do you say, the stevia Coke, the green Coke. This is just a step, it's the first step. So I believe more in the new generation, the customer, the great effect, than not in taxation.
Thank you.
Last question.
And the last one.
Two last questions.
Two last questions.
Forever.
Ciao, I'm Julia. Thank you again for your inspiring presentation. I have just one question about maybe more Italy, but I think that can be related also to GreenPea, and it's about the supply chain and the fact that what I understood, Italy started really in connection with slow food, and I do not really get how the export to the world can relate with the pillars of slow food, because actually we are introducing a lot of miles, so we are not anymore at 0 kilometers. And I think that this can impact also GreenPea when we are not talking about, also when we are talking about Italian design, with the strategy to export this kind of business model to other places in the world. The supply chain now is computed in the sustainability of this trend.
Thanks. Talking about GreenPea, first, we're talking about Italy. So first, we do not believe in miles zero, kilometer zero theory, 100% always. If not, if you reduce everything to 0 kilometers, is 0 kilometers where you born, where I born, and there are no connection between not only products but minds, etc. So it's a compromise. I think our goal, our philosophy, also the same slow food, is talking about Italian, 90% Italian products, but if I want to try champagne, I want to try jamon iberico, I want to try also not expensive food all over the world, the anchoas from Cantabrico, I want to have the possibility. Okay, this is the same that we do abroad, in restaurants and the food market with Italy. We do not sell pasta to customers that eat pasta 7 days a week. It's not that. We are abroad, we are ethical abroad. So, plus, facing with the slow food, when we opened the first in Tokyo and then the first in US, in New York, we decided to, when we have an excellence, the jamon of prosciutto di Parma, the white truffle, okay, we have to bring, because it's different, made here that made over there. When we talk about fresh food, commodities that you need quantity each day, talking about bread, we transfer not the products, we transfer the savoir-faire, the know-how. So for example, in New York, in Istanbul, in Dallas, we produce with the same know-how of our Italian artisan with local flowers. Talking about vegetable, only local vegetable, but why? Because fresh food, fish the same, meat the same, but looking for, through the same philosophy of slow food, Italy, to find producers that are the same as philosophy as good, clean and fair. But to answer to the first part, I don't believe in 0 kilometers. If not, we stop the world. Second, to GreenPea is different because in food industry, food sector, because industry, artisan, we have many artisans, and this is also our treasure, our oil. In fashion and in home, the artisan, only the artisan, you need, but it's a little percentage of your range. For example, talking about candle in the home sector, we have Candle of Franca. She can afford to produce 8 candles per day to fully complete the shelves. So the first day she worked 1 year. It's fantastic, but you cannot bring all over the world. So our goal is a mix from the fashion, where very well known, also home, very well known, with some artisans, and also very important to us, a new project. For example, in fashion, we have iGoodeye, it's a new company, startup. We have the shirt, t-shirt company, Monviso is a startup, Cingomma, so to promote new startups.
Very last one?
Do we have time for the last one?
Of course.
Wonderful. Thank you.
It's all about durability, no?
Hi there, I'm Julia. I don't know if can you hear?
Yeah. That's a good one.
Well, I was wondering from a consumer perspective, do you think that actually the tool of boycotting, in Italiano, boicottaggio, is enough to promote the ethically good industries and instead boycott the, let's say, ethically vicious industry?
Sorry, I do not understand. The fashion industry or?
In Italian?
So, the tool of boycotting, is it enough to change the industry?
Ah, okay. Only if 100% boycott. Only if.
I know. In fact, the problem is that the weight of the choice is put on us consumers. But to be aware of our choices, we need to spend so much time for every little single product that we buy in researching if the industry is being virtuous or not. And we all know that in our lives we're so busy we don't have the time to research everything.
Yes, I agree. I will also change the point of view. Remember, the companies, the industry, have a goal with make money to invest for the shareholder, public company, the market, etc. And so they make money thanks to the customer, the consumers, isn't it? Okay. Many big companies growing up thanks to the 80, the 90, the market, the magic bullet philosophy, but I repeat, they are not stupid. They want to make money. So they see the market, they read the market. So the great effect, the new generation, Z generation, they are over the next needs of the new customer. But there's a problem in our economic scenario that we live, that the boomer generation has the money, is the one that spend. So, and the boomer, they say, sorry, I make many efforts to have money, and right now I have to change less, shopping less, because of, no, I want the same. And most of all, they have no the education to understand or to go deeply to the new. So the young generation, the new generation can boycott, but it's not to me a theme of to boycott, but it's to right now. Nobody can. We do not have time. We don't want to wait. 3 years ago, how many time we spend on the sustainable products, the sustainable? Not so many. But in 3 years, the world has changed. Not GreenPea. The world has changed. All we are here talking about sustainability. And I think that the market is coming close to this need. I will say something stronger. Please, record. No, please, please, record, no. I believe, not in GreenPea, but I believe as an entrepreneur, as a